My conversations with her are starting to feel draining. She's not stimulating me mentally whatsoever.
I'm thinking of opening back up, doing a lovey-dovey thing. The minute someone else comes in, kick Justine to the curb.
I thought Love Island had moved away from having their cast members pass saliva from one person to the other. I thought we had moved on to other games. There are so many other games that they could have had the Islanders play. On the bright side, it was only two people passing saliva between one another, but still at the same time, the gagging was just enough to make my skin crawl. And then Tyrique. I know people are going to feel some type of way about Tyrique, but Tyrique spoke his truth, spoke about his plan. He might not have told Justine, but he told his best friend, which is Toby, his plan, and this is where he stands. What Tyrique said is no different to what Johnny said to the guys, because Johnny said he's tired of carrying his team. It seems like his partner is not doing anything at all. And I remember when Tyrique said it, people were going after him, saying, oh, how dare Tyrique say this? But this is the same thing that Johnny's saying. So I'm here for Tyrique, coming up with a plan. Hopefully, Toby's able to rein him in, but I don't see this happening because production are going to push Tyrique because they want the ratings and they want him to be messy and they need the drama and toxicity. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We're still trying to get to 6,000. Click the like button. Turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island Games, Season 2, Episode 9. So the Islanders, they're just walking away because Chris and KK have gone. KK personally didn't need to leave. Sadly, she marked her own fate by continuing to stick to Chris, and that's her downfall because she's always being loyal to people that don't deserve her loyalty. Anyway, the Islanders then they pick up their drinks, go and sit in couples and have conversations about what's happened. You have Andrea and Johnny. I think Johnny is starting to see the cracks in his team. I think he likes making out with her. She thinks she's pretty, but he knows for a fact that she doesn't have it in her. She doesn't have the dog sort of to chase after something and want to win, or she doesn't have the fight in her like KK was fighting with Andrea, regardless of the fact that she lost. So she says, these are my girls, I can't compete with them. And Johnny had to say to her, you need to see them like competition because they are competition. They're standing in between you and 250k. So it's up to you. Do you want friends or do you want 250k? I don't think she's as naive as she plays. I think she's got the dog in her. I think she's just waiting for the time and the moment. Sadly for her, John is going to leave her the same way Tyrique did. The difference is Tyrique gave a warning several times, whereas Johnny is just quiet and is mumbling to the boys instead of saying it straight to her. That way she realizes that she might lose him. They did share a kiss, and I personally feel like their connection is just kissing and making out. There's no substance to it. There's no conversations. There's no emotional connection. I think it's just physical attraction. Andrea and Marvin went to the fire pit for a chat. I don't think guys are going after Andrea because they think she's stunning. I think they're going after her because they know game-wise she's more likely to get them to the finale than anybody else because she comes across as one of the strongest, more well-rounded girls out of all the girls in the villa at the moment. She said, she's really struggled because her friend is gone, but she also had to fight very hard to keep herself in the villa. They spoke a bit of Spanish. It seems Marvin speaks Spanish as well. He learned Spanish at school, which was really cute. I loved it. Sadly, he was wasting his time, and I think he realized that I'm actually wasting my time on this person. He doesn't feel me in any way because he knows for a fact that Andrea's already been in 3 couples, and so if he goes in a couple with her, he's just wasting his time. Justine and Josh had a conversation, and Justine sort of gave Josh a heads up that you need to be open to the idea that Andrea might be stolen. It seems like she's the hot commodity and every guy that walks in wants her. So you need to be aware that she might be stolen by Marvin. And I'm happy to stay in a couple with you because I feel like we work well as a team, and I'm happy to continue to explore the romantic connection because this is something that's just come out of left field. I think with Josh, he likes the idea of winning Andrea. I don't know whether he likes her as much romantically as he did on day 1, but I think he likes the idea that he wants to be the last guy standing with her at the end of the day. And so I don't know whether that is enough to sort of make their connection work. You had Josh sort of ask Justine about her connection with Ty, and she said she's happy to continue to explore that. But the problem with Ty is he's not talking game. It seems like he just likes playing games, and she is more focused on the sort of winning of the competition. I get where Justine is coming from. Justine has been played by guys on Love Island twice. And so maybe it's right for her to want to focus on the game. Let her win the money and then she'll see about everything else. Tyrique, on the other part, was speaking to Johnny, and he was saying, he's struggling because he knows Johnny and Justine are close friends. So he's saying to her, I'm struggling with her because she's giving me mixed signals. I don't know whether she likes me romantically or whether she sees me as a game player or whether she's just enjoying just flirting with me. And for Johnny to say to Tyrique, continue to invest, I think at the end of the day, Tyrique can invest, as he said, in Justine for now, but if she continues to play the game she's playing, then he needs to move on. He needs to find someone who's going to get him to the final. I know that might not be popular with the Justine fan base, but that's the truth. Justine is there for the money, just like Tyrique. Tyrique left the UK for money, and he has to do what's in his best interest. Sydney and Isaiah really shocked me. I think it was very strategic, that conversation, because they sat down to have a chat and you had Isaiah ask, how is your family? And I think that was a signal to her to say, let us not say anything that will be upsetting for our families. Let's not say anything that will be embarrassing for our families, because they actually had a decent conversation. They spoke about their families. They spoke about healing and everything that they've been through since they broke up. And it was actually a decent conversation for closure. There was no swearing. There was no sort of bad blood, it seems. So I really loved that because they spoke about what they've been up to and how much they've grown. You had Andrea sort of teasing Isaiah, saying, your frontal lobe has developed, which reminded me of Tyrique. But I loved their conversation. There was nothing disrespectful about that. They ended it on a hug, and it was really sweet, and I loved it. Ty then pulled Justine for a chat, and they went to, speak easy. Is it? I've forgotten the name of it. They had a conversation because Tyrique was saying to her, I need to speak game with you because I want to be in a couple with you, but I also want to win because I didn't come all this way for nothing. Justine says she wants to win. The problem with Justine, Tyrique has already told her, I am not your exes, so don't judge me the same way you judge your exes. And as soon as Justine knows that Tyrique is just a player, he's there for the game, I think she needs to suss it out. I think she needs to try it and see if it works for her. If they're going to explore a romantic connection, that will be after the show. But for the time being, I think her best chance is either coupling up with Marvin or with Tyrique. Sadly, with Marvin, I don't think she'll get as much airtime, so I think she's better off with Tyrique. I'm not saying she can't get herself airtime on her own, but I think she's better off with Tyrique because Tyrique is a menace and people enjoy sort of watching him and following up on him. They did share a sweet little kiss at the end, which I thought was really cute. And it's like, Tyrique, finally, he's managed to wash the stain of being swerved by KK in the same place. Or was it on the terrace, if I'm not mistaken? So at least, he's got another case. Josh and Andrea went for a chat and, he was saying to her, you did very well. You're a very strong competitor. They spoke about Toby and she said her connection with Toby is okay, but she finds herself leaning more towards Josh. Josh on his part is saying, he has a great connection with Justine, but he wants to be in a couple with Andrea. Well, they then shared a kiss in front of everyone. I thought that was Josh marking his territory in front of everyone to show them that she wants me, so you all need to step back, because he knew that she had a conversation with with Marvin, and so he wanted to mark his territory to let the guys know that even if you couple up with her, she's still going to come back to me. That was my understanding. Lucinda and Isaiah are a couple that came out of left field. This is what I think. I think Isaiah winning and Isaiah coming up with a strategic plan to get the strongest, competitors out of the competition is what is now attractive to Lucinda. Because for her to say, I get a feeling, it's like, where did this feeling come from? Because you haven't spoken to him before. So how is it suddenly you now have this feeling and you want to explore romantic connection? She did ask about his chat with Sydney. They, had conversations, and it seems like they really get on with Lucinda. But as I've said before, I'm not a fan of Lucinda. She says she likes Zay. They shared a kiss. Do I see it working? I think Lucinda's going to play into that as long as it keeps her safe in the villa, because she knows Tyrique is trying to drop her. So she needs to find someone since Meth is already gone. I am so happy for Nicola because she and Mervyn went to Soul Ties. They were having a conversation. And so they were having a chat about the competition and where they were sort of sussing each other out. And there was a question about, are you very competitive? Mervyn is an athlete, so he's going to be competitive. They spoke about the fact that he's been to Malta twice. He really seemed interested in getting to know the people that he was speaking to. He really seemed as though he really watched them and investigated them and wanted to know them. This was really sweet for Nicola because this got her excited, because none of the guys have shown her romantic interest. And I think for her, she was a bit skeptical, but then sort of warmed up when she realized that actually he's been to her country. And not only has he been there, he's been there twice. So he must like something about that. And because at the moment Chris has gone home, she has no choice but to try and explore that. Toby and Sydney are a couple that came out of left field. I didn't expect them. Do I see them doing very well? I think if Sydney sort of takes away or sort of loses focus on the sort of glitzer and the glam, and she really tries to dig in, she might actually do very well. She said on her season, I don't quite remember because it's been a while and there were so many shows. She said she and Isaiah kept coming in second, so there is a chance that they might do very well with Toby. They shared a kiss, and Toby was asking her about the lipstick, and is she still wearing why doesn't she wear the spicy lipstick? And it's like, make it make sense. I don't get it. I just laughed because I think they're cute. I think Toby can couple up with anyone. I think he's got that likable personality that you can't help but just sort of warm up to him. So I love that. You then had the Islanders get ready for the night. The girls were still sort of reeling from KK being dumped. Johnny was sort of speaking to Josh, and Johnny was saying he's worried about Andrea because it doesn't seem she's able to keep up with the challenges. And so he doesn't know whether she's open to the idea of knowing that they're actually in a game and they actually have to win this money. Josh is saying, he's open to the game and he's open to the idea that his partner might be stolen. And it's like, I don't know. She's not the prize. I really don't think she's the prize. So don't make her out to be the prize. Ty and Toby having a conversation was interesting. It was really interesting because they were sort of talking about Ty's game and where he stands and the fact that he's going to try and continue to explore Justine to see if that can work out. And then you had Toby tell him about the kiss. Ty was shocked that, well, when did you go for the kiss? Because he's thinking, the student has become the master. Anyway, the Islanders get ready for the night. They all go to sleep. And in the morning, the Islanders get up and make breakfast. You have Marvin and Sydney sort of discussing their connections and seeing where they stand. I don't think at that point they actually had anything. It seems more likely they were going to couple up with the people they coupled up with because they are single and they seem keen on one another. So it makes sense that they would couple up. And then the conversation between Tyrique and Johnny is a conversation I didn't expect because they were discussing game and Johnny is saying to Tyrique, you have very good social skills and it will work in your favor. I just have to work on my strength and my challenges, because he was saying that, he's friends with Josh from outside the villa. Tyrique is trying to get Josh out. So Tyrique was saying, next we need to go after Josh. If we can go after Josh, then we're in a better space. I think that's a good idea. I think if they can use Johnny to get Josh out, the better. Then their only competition is Johnny. And when it comes to votes at the end, I don't think people will vote for Johnny. I think whoever's with him will end up winning, or whoever's opposed to him will end up winning. Johnny on his part wants to get Kendall out. He wants to get Kendall out. And he spoke about the fact that though he's got a romantic connection with Andrea, his problem is she's not competitive. And it's like, Tyrique warned you about this when you came in. He did tell you, but you didn't see that. You have, Tyrique sort of talking about his connection with Justine and how he's going to work on that and see how far they can go with that. The Islanders then have their breakfast. They all go out for chats. you had Toby have a conversation with Isaiah, and he was thanking Isaiah for saving him. He said, you proved to me that you're my friend because you sort of were able to stick up for me at a time whereby I was very vulnerable. So I really appreciate that, and I'll always ride with you, because I think people are now trying to form alliances because they know that you need alliances in order to stay in the villa, because if someone is power couple, they're going to vote you to be vulnerable. And I think seeing this, everyone is now thinking of that. You have the girls, Andrea, and Justine, having conversations about their couples to see where they stand and see how they can move forward. Justine is saying she's exploring a connection with Ty, she's exploring with Josh, she's safe with either guy, so she doesn't know who she wants at the moment. And Andrea was there listening because she likes Josh, and so she's trying to suss out, do I have competition or not? Do I think it's competition? Maybe, but I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, the Islanders receive a message. Islanders, it's time for the first recoupling of the Love Island Games 2025. Please gather in the garden immediately. So they gathered in the garden, and they were given the cards that they used on season 7, whereby you write somebody's name, you put it in an envelope, and then the two of you sort of say a little speech, reveal who you've picked, and if you've picked each other, then you go into a couple. If you've picked somebody else, then you're single. This was going to be messy. So first up was Gabby and Kendall. Gabby and Kendall were no surprise. It didn't need a soothsayer to see who they were going to pick. Kendall picked Gabby picked Kendall. Next up was Andrea and Johnny. That didn't need a soothsayer as well, because Andrea picked Johnny picked Andrea. Then came Tyrique. This is where the mess began, because Tyrique picked Justine, but Justine picked Josh. Tyrique wasn't happy. He really wasn't happy. So they were told, Tyrique first was told, you're single, go and sit on the single bench. So he sat on the single bench on his own. Justine picked Josh, and then when it was Josh's turn, he picked Andrea, which means Justine was single. So Justine went and sat beside Tyrique, and Tyrique decided to throw a tantrum, and he moved right to the other end of the bench, and she was saying that's being childish, and it's like, well, you hurt his feelings, what do you expect? Andrea on her part picked Josh, so they became a couple. Sydney picked Toby picked Sydney, that was a couple. Marvin said a very good speech. He said, Nicola deserves to win because she's really been through a lot, and she picked Marvin. That makes sense because her only other option was Isaiah, and with Isaiah they don't seem to be in the best of books because of the whole situation with who was dumped. Isaiah on his part picked Lucinda. Lucinda picked Isaiah because she says she likes the way he's treated the girls in the villa, and also the fact that he's over his ex and there's no unfinished business. And it's like she's trying to make sure she puts a lid on that. I don't get it. Anyway, the Islanders then receive a message to say that they are going to be playing a game, so they all need to get dressed so that they can go and play this game. The game was baby birding. This was messy. This was a messy game because one person, the partner, would pick stuff from this container and then put it in the mouth of the other person. The one picking up the stuff had a blindfold. The other one didn't have one. And on a table, they had couples' names. So you choose the couple you wanted to spit into their bowl. And because you had this alliance whereby Toby, Tyrique, and I've forgotten the other person are trying to get Josh out, they decided to pour into Josh's cup. And because Johnny wants to get Kendall out because he thinks Kendall has got a very scary social game, he was going for that cup. And it was so messy. Because it became, when the girls did it, the girls were just going for who they were aiming for. But when the boys, it was their turn, they were trying to watch who's pouring in my cup. If you see who's pouring in your cup, then you'd pour in their cup. And it was just, oh my God. So the game finished. People were all in their feelings. We didn't get to find out who won, but you had Lucinda be upset. She was upset with Gabby because she said they're very close friends with Gabby, so she doesn't understand why Gabby was putting in her cup. And personally, I don't understand because Kendall, I think, lied. I think he put in their cup as well, but he lied and said, I didn't. He was looking at Gabby that, why didn't you lie and just say we didn't put in your cup? When they got back to the villa, there was this back and forth between Lucinda and Isaiah because Lucinda was saying she doesn't trust Gabby anymore. She thinks Gabby is putting on a persona and she's playing it safe and she's pretending to be very nice when she's playing up on other people. And it's like, Lucinda, you could have come up with a plan as well. You didn't need to continue to sort of play naive games. You knew what was happening. Why were you pouring in every single person's cup? Why not just target one person and take them out? Because at the end of the day, only one couple can be unsafe. And Johnny was flirting with Andreina. I didn't get that. I feel like Johnny is just so infatuated with this girl's physical appearance, he doesn't see past anything else. But then now he's drafted a plan whereby he's thinking of leaving her. He's just waiting for someone else to come in. He did this to Little Jess, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does this. All the other islanders are upset. Tyrique and Justine actually worked very well, regardless of the fact that they were very upset with one another. And they were saying, maybe we need to be upset with one another more so that we can work better. The islanders got ready for the night. You had Johnny say, he's waiting for somebody else. He was telling the guys, but he is not telling Andreina, this is my beef. Because Tyrique actually told Andreina that if you don't, pull your socks up, I'm leaving you. Whereas Johnny's telling everybody else in the villa except the person that he's in a couple with, which I don't like. Anyway, the islanders pick up their drinks and then Tyrique pulls his boy for a chat. He pulls Toby for a chat and says to Toby, I feel some type of way. I feel aggrieved because I've been doing a lot of things for Justine and she, doesn't want to be with me. She's with me by default. She didn't want to be with me. And he actually told her before that, now I'm going to stop doing you breakfast, kissing you, everything else. There's nothing like that. We're just focused on the game because his thing is, yes, she's here for the money, but at least if you like me, show me you like me. And she's not showing me that. So he's thinking of playing her. I don't know how I feel about that because Justine is playing her game, he's playing his game. The only difference is everybody else is playing their games quietly while Tyrique is saying his game out. That's what I think, as far as I'm concerned. Justine on her part had a conversation with Josh and she felt some type of way because she felt he played her. He told her what he felt she wanted to hear and then he played her because they agreed that they will stay in a couple until, whenever or to win the show, and he said he would tell her if anything changed, but he didn't tell her. She was surprised standing there when names were being read only to find out that he didn't pick her, he picked somebody else, and it was humiliating in my opinion. I think if anyone has beef, that's the person they should have beef with. But anyway, it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. I hear rumors that Casey's coming back, and it's like Casey doesn't need to be there. He's just there for a holiday. Let them vote him out the same way they voted Charlie. I know the UK guys need numbers. They don't need numbers when it comes to Casey. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 8. Bye guys.